is once again instructing you to stay at home.
That includes children who he said should go to school just this morning. Our kitchen tables or shared sofas become offices.
Hi, I'm Summer Partridge and I'm 17 years old and I study history, psychology and art at Dudley College.
How did you react when lockdown was first announced?
I was extremely sad because it was when I was finishing my GCSEs and it felt like I was being robbed of a proper opportunity to leave, and I felt like it was really sudden because normally in GCSEs, I know this is like really controversial, but normally in GCSEs you get like a prom and stuff, but we weren't allowed that, and like they have you get a proper leaving assemblies and we didn't have that, so it felt a bit wrong and a bit unfair, and I kind of felt cheated. So.
Did you feel isolated in your own home?
Yes, because sometimes I just felt like bleak, and then sometimes I was happy, but sometimes it was just a bit annoying because you're just stuck at home and you didn't have the ability to go out, even though it was really sunny. Although the weather, because it was really warm, it was really nice because you could just like sit outside all day and the day just like wastes away kind of.
In the months before his death, Christopher posted a series of messages on Facebook about his struggles with the lockdown.
The real pandemic is mental health, that people, especially the younger generation, are struggling with. Everything they've ever known has just been taken away, and then there's a new set of rules.
How did lockdown affect your mental health?
It affected it both like positively and negatively. It was very dependent on the day as well, especially with the weather, because sometimes I was really happy and sometimes I was just really sad, and I think that was a lot because of what was going on in the world. So.
Classrooms again.
Primary schools, secondary schools and colleges across England must move to remote provision from tomorrow, except for vulnerable children and the children of key workers.
How did you react when your lessons were now online?
I think my first experience of online lessons were at college, and that was in like November and December because of like local lockdowns and stuff. And at first it wasn't too bad, but then it got a bit boring and it was hard to motivate yourself, and some days I just put it off and I did it the next day because I just couldn't be bothered. So overall, it was all right, but it was also very dependent on the lesson as well.
What motivated you to complete your work?
I think it was like the goal for the grades I wanted to get at the end of the year, and for our exams and progress exams and stuff like that, and also like my plans for the future, especially getting into uni and having a good job, I guess. So yeah.
Hi, my name's Carol Partridge. I work at the QE as a housekeeping assistant, and I'm 53 this year.
How did you react when lockdown was first announced?
I was a bit scared. I didn't know how to react because we didn't really know much about it. Mm-hmm. And it was in the hospital, well, bits was in the hospital, so it's very scary. You didn't know. They said it was an airborne, but we know now it was. So it's scary and you don't know how to react. As long as you've got, all they say, as long as you've got your PPE on and mask, you'll be safe.
LinkedIn's editor-in-chief Dan Roth, who has some new data on how the job market is changing amid this pandemic. Dan, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me here.
All right, so let's talk about sort of three sort of subcomponents of the job market. There must be jobs that are new as a result of COVID.
Yeah. Was your job affected because of lockdown?
Not really, because you still had to go in and clean the rooms, whether they were positive or negative. You just had to be extra vigilant.
Looking to learn a new skill? Trying to take on a fun new challenge? Here are 50 new skills that you can start learning this year. The first category is creative hobbies.
Did you learn any skills or hobbies during your time in lockdown?
I did quite a few crafts, so like I did like clay and stuff like that, but I did get back into reading, and that was nice to do because I've got loads of books and I just started reading them, and it was nice. So I didn't learn anything new, but it was more getting back into the things I used to love.
Pottery. Yeah, I did not make this, I just got it from right there. Hey! Number 5, origami. This is the only thing I can make.
Did you learn any skills or hobbies during your time in lockdown?
No, not really.
What kind of books did you read, and can you give like a brief explanation of what the book is?
The one book that stuck in my mind that I read was The Tattoo of Auschwitz, and it was based off a true story about this couple, and they met in Auschwitz, the concentration camp. Well, the death camp, not the concentration camp. But it was basically his story of how he was a tattooist, so he got out of a lot of like troubles and stuff because he became friendly with the higher people, and it's also about how when they escaped, how they actually survived afterwards. And it was really nice. It was really heartwarming because it was also like romantic stuff as well. So.
Mr Johnson said that people living in England should stay at home and could only leave for exceptional reasons. Those include shopping for essential items and going to work where people can't work from home. Like in the previous lockdowns, outdoor exercise...
How did you react when they put in the restrictions?
Okay, but I did feel like you were stuck in your house, so you couldn't go out shopping, apart from food shop, and you couldn't go to the gym, which I stopped and I don't go because I'm scared to go. Still. And I cancelled my prescription, and yeah, I did feel isolated, and it does get to you after a bit.
Is allowed. Those who are extremely clinically vulnerable are being asked to shield again, and all schools in England will be closed to most pupils with online learning until after the February half-term at the earliest.
How did you react when they put up the restrictions?
I mean, I was mixed, because I was happy that they finally put up restrictions to like stop it from spreading and they're actually doing something about it. But also it was quite sad because you weren't able to go a lot of places and see a lot of people. Like, I didn't see my friends for a very long time.
Hello, my name is Annabella and I am a college student at House Owen who studies Level 3 Media.
How did you react when lockdown was first announced?
I was shocked at the beginning when lockdown was first announced, but I was able to come closer with my family because if lockdown wasn't announced, I would mostly be spending my time upstairs or in the kitchen on my own with my laptop, so therefore I was happy with the announcement.
At the earliest. And most GCSE and A-level exams are not likely to go ahead in England this year.
How did you react when they announced the restrictions?
I was okay with some of the restrictions, but when it came down to the masks, it was a bit frustrating because, as you can see, I wear glasses, and it was quite troubling when you had to always put the mask on and fix it with your nose so that it would go on top of your glasses, because most of the times it would just fog up my glasses, so I wasn't really happy with that kind of restriction, but the others were fine.
There's no denying that the lockdown is saving lives, but behind closed doors, up and down the country, people are struggling to cope. We've been contacted online by relatives who believe the lockdown may have led to the deaths of their loved ones.
Did lockdown affect your relationships with your friends and family?
Yeah, it did negatively, because I felt like even though I could text my friends over text and stuff, we couldn't meet in real life, and then I started to have like doubts about it, which is really deep. But I think it was hard because it put a strain in a lot of relationships, and especially at home as well, because I felt like I was just like being angry at everyone for no reason.
Loved ones. This message here reads, I'm 100% sure my partner would still be here if it wasn't for
lockdown affect your relationship with your friends and family?
Friends, yes, because you couldn't go and see them, you could only phone them. Family, I think it affected my family because they were at college and one had just left school, so she missed out her prom and her exams. And same with the one who was at college, just stuck at home all the time. So yes, it did affect my family.
Another, our son, took his life in May, and the coroner recorded that the lockdown played a significant role.
Did lockdown affect your relationships with your friends and family?
Lockdown did affect my relationships with my family, but in a positive way, because I was able to spend more time with them, like with the washing and the cleaning and just sitting down and having a talk. I was able to build like really strong bonds with them because I wasn't really close with my dad before lockdown was announced, but throughout lockdown I've become a lot more closer with him because I was very, very distant.
Did you do any fitness during your time in lockdown?
No, not really. I tried to start yoga and Pilates, but I soon didn't because I had issues with family, parents. That's it.
Fitness during your time in lockdown?
At the beginning, I did do fitness, like fitness in the morning, early in the morning, when everyone went to bed, but like throughout my time in lockdown I've become very lazy. And I come to the realisation that I was very, very lazy. So I did start back up with the fitness, but throughout, no, I didn't really do that much.
Did you do any fitness during your time in lockdown?
I did, yeah. I got into like a routine of doing it at night or when nobody was down the stairs, and it was fun. But then I got a bit too like lazy with it, and then I stopped. But it did really help when we were in lockdown because it was something to do.
What do you plan to do once lockdown is lifted?
Go clothes shopping, go to the beach, go on trips, but not go abroad because I'm too scared to go on a plane at the moment.
What do you plan to do once lockdown is lifted?
What I plan to do is focus on myself, focus on my college work so that I get it like done, and also be able to see my college mates face to face instead of through social media.
What do you plan to do once lockdown is lifted?
Go out everywhere, go everywhere I can. Like, me and my friends have this like whole bucket list for the summer that we're going to try and complete. So I just want to go places and not waste it again like last year.
What's on your bucket list? Like, do you...
Going places, just like going swimming, going roller skating, ice skating, that's more in the winter though. Go to like somewhere other than here, Birmingham in the evening, go for something nice to eat and just stuff like that.
The UK, that I know how tough this is, but now, more than ever, we must pull together. The weeks ahead will be the hardest yet, but I really do believe that we're entering the last phase of the struggle.